to the Phase 5 podcast studio. We have episode 4 of Beyond the Prop, and we have a really, really special guest in with us today. Former women's world wakesurfing champion and probably one of the most influential person to all of wakesurfing from when it started to where it is now. We have Caro, and Caro has been a huge person in helping to drive where wakesurfing has gone. So welcome, Caro.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're right off of the regatta.
Yeah.
4th annual Phase 5 regatta. It's your first time going. What was the thoughts? How was the vibe? Tell us about it.
Well, I was very happy I was able to make it because I've been missing it for the last 3. So I was able to make it this year. It was super fun. Got to see old friends that I haven't seen in a very long time. I haven't traveled much in the last, since COVID pretty much.
Right.
And then I got to meet all the newer faces and the future of the sport, the athlete that I haven't met other than through social media. So it was good to actually interact and meet everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. And congratulations, you took home the annual Phase 5 Legend Award, which I wasn't there to be a part of it, but to me was really cool because knowing that a lot of the stuff that you did was even prior to you being on Phase 5, like I felt it was cool that we got to honor you for all the work that you did. So was that a surprise? Pretty cool?
It was, it was super appreciated to receive that honor for sure. Especially that I've been kind of out of the game for quite some time. Right. So, it was an honor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's awesome. What was the favorite part of the weekend?
Wow, it was a lot of good parts. First day got to go play, just surf with Jody. And we had actually a pretty good boat, bunch of people, new people too. And so that was good because I haven't surfed since September, I think.
Wow.
So that was super fun. And then the welcome dinner was awesome. The food was good. And got to chat a bit more privately with a bunch of different people. Next day, that was the big day where everybody's there. And that's when you realize how big the team is, even though some of them are not even there. So some missed it. And it was still quite a lot of people on the docks. A bit of chaos at some point with
that's
all the
always
boats
the most chaotic, the first morning on the dock.
And then the morning was well organized with different people in each boat. Again, I had a pretty stacked boat, so it was really, really fun to watch everybody and get to ride. I even had to dust the rust off a little bit. And then the lunch was amazing. We got to play volleyball and cornhole, and the kids had a little game. And me, Jody, and Jolene ended up judging this little game on the shove-it board thing, and went back for the made-up game from Mark. That was when the chaos happened the most. Like we got to the dock, and there's just boats everywhere, people everywhere, people not quite understanding where they're supposed to go. We have 2 teams of like 18 people. So it was very fun.
That's
so
awesome.
we had to shoot with some kind of water gun into a hole that was on the boat, and it was the team that collect the most water in the bucket. So me and Parker Payne were in the same boat, and he was so funny. He was pulling the water, and then he was gonna pass. He said, "Oh no, there's a bubble of air here." And then so we found a way to get the most water in each of the little
leave it to Parker.
Well, he taught me the trick, so now I was able to do it right. Because at first I got told I was not doing it right. And it was super fun.
That's awesome.
And then the afternoon was kind of a free ride. We just all went and go ride, and it went super fast.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Fun event. What was craziest trick you saw go down?
Well, I got lucky. I was on the boat when Parker landed his shove-it.
His kickflip. I saw the video. Yeah.
That was
not something you see all the time.
No.
Well, really haven't seen it since Dom.
Well, and he made it. Well, Dom had the varial flip.
He had the varial flip,
yeah.
right.
No, that was really cool, and it was kind of casual. Like he's just riding, doing his trick, and then he landed that, and I feel like he had no emotions. Like when he landed it, and everybody in the boat was like, "Woo!" Like, it was super smooth and solid landing, and just like if he would do it every day.
So you're talking about the boat you were on was pretty stacked. I feel like every time I've been to the regatta, it doesn't matter what boat you get on, right? Like some pretty talented team as a whole. Were there any of the younger kids that you just met that really kind of you were like, wow, like pretty impressive riding. I mean, they're all good at this point.
Yeah, it's really hard to put a name on it. Honestly, I feel like everybody was. I feel like I wish it was a bit longer so I could go on different boats and meet more people because you kind of end up with the people in your boat for most of the day. I happened to be on a boat with a lot of people that I knew already.
Right.
It was good too because I mean they've been progressing a lot in the last 6-7 years since I kind of stopped competing. So
How'd you ride?
Horribly.
It's your first time in what? What'd you say, September?
Well, and the thing is I don't train even at home. It's been years. Like I drive the boat, I coach.
Right.
And when I go, I ride for fun. I don't train like I used to train.
Yeah.
Like it's the big difference between training and riding.
Yep.
I'm just loving to do my slashes and my little
right. Do a couple
and,
tricks and call it good.
I definitely regressed. A lot.
It
was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah. Anytime, like every time I get to get behind the boat, it's always a regression, but it's still fun to ride behind the boat.
And it's funny actually because when I used to compete, I always taught my students to not show when you're upset or don't break your board and things like that. It's like, well, what do you do when someone asks you how did it go and what you want to say is I sucked. And it was like, well, for me, if they ask me how did it go, if it was like really good, which is kind of rare because you always do better behind your own boat than behind a competition boat, it'd be like, oh, it was amazing. That's the rare answer. Right. And then the most common answer would be like, yeah, I did pretty good. Right. I'm happy with my run. Yeah. And when I really sucked, I would just say like, it was fun. Yeah. That was my way. Like people close to me would know that if I say it was fun, it meant that I was not very happy with my run.
Don't ask any more questions.
So sometimes I come out and it was really fun.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, that's awesome that it was a fun weekend. So let's get into the good stuff here. Where are you from and what were your childhood hobbies?
I'm originally from a little town called Chambly on the south shore of Montreal in Quebec, in Canada. As a kid, I've done a lot of sports. I started swimming pretty much after I was born. My parents kind of threw me in the pool. I did my whole youth. It was swimming lessons. I became lifeguard, coaching, swimming, diving, board, that kind of stuff. When I was young, I did the Scouts for quite some time, and I was not with the girls, with the guides. I wanted to be with the boys, building fires and whatnot. So I actually argued to be with the boys. I played baseball for maybe 5 years, and karate. I don't know how to pronounce it. Karate. For quite some time also. That was kind of my sports. I was always good, in school for whatever sports we would play, volleyball or this, that, but I never extended that part of things.
Right. And I saw on the bio that you sent me over, because I didn't know this about you in all the time that we've known each other, that music was a big, like you did a lot of musical stuff.
I started pretty young. My parents got me a xylophone when I was younger, and then I apparently asked to play piano, so don't remember that.
Remember.
So I had my piano lessons my whole youth. In high school, I was pretty good in school. I was kind of bored a little bit. So in high school, they had this program that you had a bit less of each main classes and you would do music. So I thought I would go there and play piano. When I got there, it was more like strings or harmony instruments. So I tried them all, one after another. And the last one I tried was the French horn. And since I didn't really like the other ones before, I was like, well, I guess I'm playing the French horn. So I played that for 5 years. And got to college in French horn because it's different in Quebec than it is here. You don't go to university coming out of high school. Okay. There's a cégep, which is like a little mid
like
couple years.
Between. Okay.
Yeah. So it didn't matter if I would go in human sciences or in music, as long as I go through that step to get to university, which is I wanted to go in kinesiology for my university. So I kept going in cégep college in French horn. And then my wisdom teeth got extracted, so I switched. I had French horn and a secondary instrument was Latin percussions. Okay. And then when I got wisdom teeth extracted, that became my main instrument, and piano was second. So I actually graduated in Latin percussions.
That's awesome.
So
that's impressive.
Bongo, conga, timbales.
The djembe.
Djembe is I never actually learned it at school, but it's kind of hard to carry, around the fire your 3 massive big conga. But a djembe you just put on your back. And so djembe is just that shape like this, like a little hand drum.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. It was just somewhere for me to escape.
Okay.
Yeah. You could hear in the kind of songs I was playing if I was happy or frustrated.
Yeah, depending on how loud it was. Did music help you with your wake surfing at all? Like I know, like before I would compete, like I always had certain songs or bands that I'd want to listen to. Were you ever?
As far as listening music, I'm pretty open.
Okay.
I like to play it just because I don't know, I don't have to think. It's just naturally.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't play piano anymore because I don't have one. But like once in a while, you go to an airport and there's a random piano, I'll sit on it. And there's some songs that I played 20 years ago that is burned in my head, and I'll just remember them. The fingers are not as fast as they used to be. But,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So from music, how did you get in? How did you get into water sports, wakeboarding, all that stuff?
Well, my parents had a beliner outboard, so we couldn't really. Well, the wake surf was not even there yet, but we'd water ski when we go to like my aunt's little cabin by the lake and whatnot. And I think I wakeboarded a few times behind the parents' boat, but I started late. In my 20s, I decided to get into wakeboarding because I thought it was fun, but because we practiced behind a boat that had no wave, I was extremely aggressive.
Right.
Just like, because I had no wave to jump.
Right.
So when I got to that school, they were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so aggressive!" Like, so I spent one summer to just work on my progressive cut.
Right. Right.
And then so then I did a bit of wakeboarding. That was early 20s, I want to say, early mid 20s is when I started to wakeboard. And then a friend of mine was quite better than I, and she was winning the competition, so I would tag along. And at some point, well, you should compete. I mean, you're here, so sure. And then I started to compete wakeboarding. But I was competing against girls that started when they were, 12.
Right.
I was in my 20s. So.
All right. So as you're wakeboarding, going to competitions and stuff, like at what point did wake surfing? Did you get introduced to wake surfing, and then like how did you decide like that's the direction you wanted to go?
You probably haven't heard this kind of story very often, but I kind of got forced into it. I didn't want to wake surf. I was wakeboarding. I was this school was called Orbit in Quebec, and I was wakeboarding with them. And then when it would be a windy day and white capping, and they'd say, "Well, we're gonna wake surf today." And I was always like, "No, I don't want to wake surf. I want to wakeboard anyway." So, whatever. We'll pull you in the chop. So I would. And my other friends would wake surf,
right?
And I just didn't want to, so I kept wakeboarding. And then one morning, Nick Bergeron was there, and he's like, "Well, today we're gonna wake surf because it's very choppy on the lake." I was like, "Oh, as usual, I'll just wakeboard." He's like, "No, you're not hearing me. You've got two choices: you wake surf or you go home." He's like, "Oh, damn it, okay, I'll wake surf then." So yeah, I got forced into it a little bit, and I mean, I learned to wake surf in the chop because. If not, I was wakeboarding.
You were wakeboarding, right? Yeah.
And then later that season, or maybe the next season, so long ago, the owner, JR, was like, "Hey, Annie, Caro, we got a wake surf comp we're going to host for the first time this year. I want you both to compete in it." Because at that point, now I'm coaching for that school. I'm driving the boat. Like, I got into it more.
Right.
It's like, JR, I don't wake surf. It's like, "Well, you better get at it." Because you have to compete in August or whatever it was. So I started to split my time half and half, wake surf, wakeboard. I was like, "Well, I'll just go in amateur." He's like, "Oh no, you're representing the school. You're going expert." I was like, "I wake surf like 10 times, So I got into expert. I think I got 4th.
There you go.
And then the following year, I can't remember if it was the same year or the following year, but I went to another comp with Dom. So I met Dom at that event. That's my first ever wake surf event is when I met Dom.
Right.
And then I went to another event. Dom was there also, and I didn't have much, and I got first. So I was like, "Oh, nobody's good at this." It's so new. Nobody's good at this. Instead of competing against girls that's been doing it for so long. Now nobody's been doing it for so long.
Everyone's doing it the same amount of time.
Yeah. So the following year, I think I split about half and half my time wake surf, wakeboard.
Okay.
And it's funny because my friend Annie, we were the partner in crime for riding, and the lake was narrow. It was a river, lots of traffic during the day, so we would go there early. We both had jobs to go to, so we'd go there. early, and the cup shop was right across that river, so we're not allowed to go without a third. We need a third. So I try to get some of my friends like, "Can you come on the boat with us? We need a third." "Oh, it's too cold." Like, "I'm not asking you to jump in the water. Like, just come on the boat."
Put your jacket on and sit there.
So we could never find someone. And JR had he had a shop at the time, like a board shop and clothing and whatnot. And we took a torso, kind of like one of those guys.
Like a mannequin,
there.
yeah.
A mannequin torso. We put it on the passenger seat. We gave it a hoodie and a ball cap, and we had a bunch of towels for the legs. And we had Johnny for the rest of the summer.
That's awesome.
That was the third.
Johnny.
Yeah. And so me and Annie kept going in competitions. She was more wakeboard, I was more wake surf after a while. But I would always go to the wakeboard comps, and she would come to the wake surf comps. And funny fact is, because I was nervous about wake surf, because now I want to win those.
Right.
She would beat me because she had no stress. She didn't
She
care
didn't
about
care,
it.
right.
And then we would go to a wakeboard event, and I would beat her for the same
for the same reason.
yeah.
Yeah. So you slowly start working your way into these wake surf events, and then you kind of, from the numbers, you went all in. Like you've now done, and this is the most up-to-date records I have, 94 events, 77 podiums.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I did some math this morning. That means that 82% of the time that you went into an event, you were on the podium. I did more math. Tom Brady only won like 30-something% of all football games or something like that. So you're better than Tom Brady in my book.
Well, I didn't win them all, though.
No,
That's
but you were on the
podium.
podium,
Yeah.
which is the same as far as I'm concerned. But that's pretty impressive. And then like 46% of the time, so almost half the time, you won the events.
I got a lot of first places.
Yeah. And I think it was like, what did you start? 2007 was your first event?
Yeah.
To 25. And I think there was like 9 or 10 seasons where like you never missed a podium.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
Like it's pretty
cool.
impressive.
It was good years.
Yeah. So the first event was like a local event, right? And then from like 2007 to 2011, it looked like you did like 2 or 3 events, probably like local events again.
Yeah, I think 2009 was the first one I went in the States, and it was in Seattle.
That's right,
Lake
you did say that.
Samaj.
Yes. And that was, so that would have been, was that like what the inland guys that ran that one?
Yeah, the Northwest Wake,
Yes, NWO or whatever it
yeah,
was. Yeah, NWWSA or something.
Something like
one of
that.
the
Yeah,
SAs.
yeah.
Gotcha. So that was your first trip to like the U.S. and was that like a much bigger contest than the ones you were doing in Canada?
Yeah.
As far as like people, how'd that go? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember. Well, what I remember is I registered pro because at that point I'm kind of the best in my country anyway.
Right.
And I was going to the West Coast for the winter, so I decided to go a bit earlier so I could drive down. So I actually drove the country from Quebec to these Kootenays. It was 40-something hours, and then drove down to Seattle. And when I got there, they were like, "Oh, by the way, you're the only pro girl." I was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer." So they gave me the choice to compete with the guys or with the girls amateur. And Dom was there. I was like, "I'm not riding against this guy." So it was my only event that I was, even though I registered pro, I actually competed with the amateur.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what I remember of that one.
So that was 2009, 2010, 2011, like kind of a couple events each year.
I think 10 was my first U.S. national, like Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, I remember when they used to, I never went to that event, but I remember when it used to be up there.
That's when I met Keenan for the first time.
Okay.
And,
who were you competing against then?
Jacqueline Fort and Brie Mel were the two
Were
girls.
the two, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was, must have other girls, but that's who I remember.
Because that was probably like before Taylor Dory.
Oh, yeah.
Before Vanessa, like all of
Oh,
them.
yeah, way before.
Awesome.
I feel like it was way before.
Very cool. And then 2011. Was 2011 the year you got your first pro model? Is that right?
No, it was later. 2011 was my first world championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that was in Parker, Arizona, which you fly into Las Vegas, or you can fly into Phoenix, I think, and then it's like a 2.5-hour drive.
Something like that.
Into the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I remember I made that drive. That was a long drive. And then it was like the Blue Water Casino.
Correct.
Where if you were inside, you were going to die of secondhand smoke. And if you were outside, you could breathe fresh air. All right, so that's your first Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, walk us through that whole...
Well, that was 15 years ago, so I'll try my best to remember. Well, I was nervous for sure because it was pretty
much bigger
step
stage
for me.
Yeah.
I was very happy that Dom was there because my English was not very strong back then, and he was kind of my right arm.
Right.
And he would introduce me like to you and other people that he knew that I didn't know yet or not well. I remember Stacia Bank was there because I came out of the water and I was quite disappointed of my run, and I ended up on the podium, and Stacia didn't. And she was the one that actually came and she said, I thought you were great, and she was like consoling me, and I thought she was the sweetest person out there. And then I felt really bad because I ended up on the podium, but I didn't see the other one, so I didn't know what the caliber was. But yeah, so my first world, I got that 3rd place.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure it was Bree and Jacqueline for 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And I think, like you said, I think that's the year that I met you for the first time.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And then I think Dom too, probably. Maybe
no,
not.
You met Dom before.
Dom was at a Worlds earlier.
He was
than
at
that.
like the 2007 one in Merced.
Yeah, Merced, Lake Yosemite.
Actually, that year, that's the year I met him.
Right.
And when I saw him later, he's like, "You should have come. You would have won."
Right.
Like the girl who won had a 360, and I was like, "Oh, well, I could have won." Maybe. I mean, who knows?
That's okay. So that wasn't the year of the pro model, but that was the year that you started your own Wakesurf, like H20 School.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you're now in your 15th year, if I did my math right.
16th.
16th year.
We're starting the 16th, I
year.
guess.
Right.
We have 15 year done.
Right. Okay. What was the decide? Like, at what point were you like, you know what? Like, I'm going to open up my own wake school.
So I have a degree in kinesiology. So coaching is not just like a hobby. I'm good at something and now I'm coaching it. Like I'm actually studying.
Certified.
All this.
Yeah.
I coach swimming, diving classes, aquafit, all the lifeguard things for 16 years, roughly. I coached wakeboard and wakesurf when I was down in Quebec. And I worked for the Coast Guard for 5 years in my younger years. So boats were always my thing. So all this together made sense to start something. Because the first year I was in BC for a summer. Because the first, let's say, 4 years that I was going in BC to snowboard in the winter, but I would go back home in the summer to wake surf and wakeboard.
Okay.
And then the first year that I stay all year round, it drove me nuts to not ride in the summer. And I thought I would kind of reach out to a school and just give them a bunch of money and go ride or whatever it would be, but something. But it was nothing. It was a school, but they were pretty much at the end of they were closing their doors.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I decided it was time for me to start something there.
That's awesome.
And between you and I couldn't quite afford a boat. So by doing that, I can make a bit of money in the same time that I have, something for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a boat to ride behind through the school. So coached over 6,000 kids, students, and I shouldn't say kids because with wake surfing, it's all ages, right? Like, what part of that is, like, for me, like, getting in a boat and seeing someone do something new is exciting. Like, you 100%. Get to relive that, like, first time moment, right? Like, how is that still exciting for you when you're out?
Exciting.
Like, 15 years later?
Oh yeah, no, it is. People dropping the rope for the first time. I mean, the get up part is fun too, but when they toss the rope and they have that forward momentum forward, that's the smile
closer
on
they
their
get,
face,
the bigger the smile gets.
The eyes, like that's the best part of it for sure.
So how many hours roughly are you spending on your boat coaching in a summer?
Well, the last quite a few years now, it was a progressing thing. At first it was only on my boat, but I offer coaching on people's boat also. I don't want to say 50-50, but maybe like a 60-40.
Okay.
So I spend a lot of time on other people's boat.
Yeah.
And it's not just wake surfing. I'll teach them how to dock it, how to
like the whole experience.
Launch it, put it that, or very often I'll teach the wife.
Right.
I like to say that I like to save marriage.
Right.
Because when the husband try to teach the wife, sometimes it doesn't work, so they get Caro on the boat and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I help them to set up the wave. I've been on so many different boats. It doesn't matter if it's not the brand that I have. Like I'm getting pretty good at whatever. So one time this guy had like a Maxim 98 that he just added ballast and so I thought he did a pretty good job. I didn't have much to add to his setup, but yeah, any kind of boat, anytime.
That's awesome.
But on my boat, it's really hard to tell how many. I mean, I'm there all summer long, but it's a short summer, so.
How long have you had your current boat?
Oh my God, too long.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think, were you there in Parker, Arizona, when we did that Centurion modified? We had like the cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
We opened we had no floor on the boat because we had
They were
we had to
working
see
on
the rotor
worked.
thing.
Yeah.
And then we tried asymmetrical.
Yep. Wing on it and all that stuff. The plate.
Trim in the back,
yep.
and then the ram fills. That's my boat. So I bought it from Todd Gahan, I think the year after.
Wow.
So it's a 13, but we call it 13 and a half.
Because it has
the
some new
options
stuff
of the 14
on it. Right.
At 2,400 hours, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's
Something
awesome.
like that, yeah.
That's awesome. Same motor?
Yes.
It's impressive.
I need a new boat.
You need a new boat. You hear that?
You guys
Boat
hear
companies
that?
out there? Put a lot of people in your boat with a good captain and a coach. All right, so back to the contest scene. 2011, you take third. 2012, third again, and then 13, 14, second place. How much effort was going in after each of those years to come back and win the next year?
A lot.
Was that like grinding on you? Like,
Well, we have a short summer.
right. Well,
So-
I actually made a note here that I think you have 4 warm days a year.
Oh
4.
gosh, we have more than that. But no, realistically, May long the boat should be in the water.
Yeah.
In my earlier years, I was crazy. It's like the ice is melted. Let's go. Actually, one year I went with some guys, and we heard the lake was good to go. And as we're filling up the boat, people was like, "Where are you going?" It's like to Thai lakes. Well, it's frozen. My buddy was like ice fishing yesterday. So we ended up going to a different lake. It had slush around the edges.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so, but realistically, now it's more mid-May. I've done April many years. But I start more like June. And the school itself, I'd say the summer itself, when the school ends is when my school starts, kind of thing.
Okay.
But for my training, I would start in May because I have a lot of friends now because I met the people over the years, so I would start going south. So I would have a winter job done usually early April, and then I would zoom south, go meet Keenan or Sean,
Right.
Sean Cummings in California.
Yeah.
I did multiple trips like this. I think it was more Sean in the early years.
Right.
Keenan was still young, was a kid.
Right before contest season kicked off.
Yeah, and I would go for a few weeks here and there, and then usually link it with a competition. And
Right.
then I would usually kind of go train somewhere, come early for the comp, coach there, then do the comp, maybe coach a bit more, and then go home and then start my school. So I had an
Okay.
extra month there.
Right.
And same would happen at the end of the season when it started to get cold. I would winterize the boat, get everything out of the water and ready, and then I would fly south again, go train for a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks before Worlds. And usually staying after Worlds because that's when you get to play without training,
Right,
and just to
right.
have fun. So my season ended up being maybe 5 months long.
Okay.
But in Canada, it's not as long.
Right. Right.
So that's how I managed to stay in the game, was my travels before and after.
Right. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you're 4 or 5 years in now, and you're like right there, was there ever a moment where you were just just kind of like, whatever, I don't care about this contest anymore? Or did it just make you want to win more and more each year?
I'm pretty competitive.
Yeah.
So, well, Bree was the one to beat for sure. Because at first it was always Bree, Jacqueline, me.
Right.
And eventually it was like Caro, Jacqueline, Jacqueline, Caro.
Right.
Like we were playing like this, but Bree was always on top. And Jacqueline wanted to beat Bree also. And then I did beat her twice in other events.
Right.
I think one was Calabogie or Nationals.
Yeah, Canadian Nationals.
Canadian, and the other one, some West Coast.
Okay.
Can't remember what they were called. One of Sean's events.
Yeah.
And that was the best. Like the first time I beat her, I was like, holy smokes! Like I beat
It can be
the
done.
multi-time
Right.
world champ.
Yeah.
So now I wanted to beat her at Worlds, and I think 2014, I thought I had it. I was very disappointed. So you're waiting on the podium award thing, and in third place we have, and I'm just like, please don't name me, please don't name me, please don't name me. And then it was someone else, like, okay, sweet. And in second place we have, please don't name me, please, Caro.
Put your happy face on
yeah,
it.
happy
Walk
face all
up
the
there.
time, but I wanted to be like, damn,
Yes.
missed it again. But at the time, it was a lot of objective scoring. I don't think the kids even know what I'm saying when I say that, but it was a points per trick thing.
Right.
So if you do a 360 and then a 540 and then a 720 and then a 900 and then a switch 3 and a switch this, and those were just accumulating points.
You're just adding,
so
right.
it was no variety or intensity
amplitude,
or style
no
or anything
nothing.
like that.
Right,
No.
right. I remember. So I got 2012, 2013 pro model.
Yeah.
Right, that was your first one.
13 was my first pro model with
and you're a super loyal person. Like, you were with Inland for...
From the beginning, well, 2011.
Right.
Or 10, 11, just before I opened the school.
Right.
I got both Centurion and Inland Surfer within the same weekend.
Okay.
And I had my pro model from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then I came here.
And then you were been with, okay. When you had your pro model there, did you have a lot of say in designing it and the...
I was not picky on the shape, so the shape itself was the same as the Sean.
The one that they, I remember that.
And actually, it's kind of funny how it happened, because that year, because before that it was Keenan's model that was riding.
Yes.
And then Keenan went something different. Sean kind of took pretty similar what Keenan
What
had.
was Keenan,
And then he put that US dollar bill thing, and it was like the dollar bill Sean on it. And I called Jeff, we're always chatting, and I was like...
I'm not riding.
No, I was joking. He was just like, what, you think I'm going to ride a board with a US dollar bill on it? I'm Canadian. And he's like, well, make your own pro model. I was like, I was joking, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that's how it started.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I designed the graphics, but it was...
The same shape that you were riding already,
And then I did 3 years with that shape. Then Keenan helped me with a different shape. And then I had 2 more years with a different shape.
That's awesome.
At the end.
Yeah. So that was 2013, you think?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So then 2 years later, so 13 you take second, 14 you take second, 15 was kind of like the year, right? And Jody and I actually talk about it in our podcast too. But you went to a lot of events, like obviously you're training leading up to this, and then that was, where was 2015? That's Parker, Arizona again, I think, right?
Las Vegas.
Like Lake. Oh, so that was one of the big ones where they were doing like the big cash prizes.
That was the biggest one.
That was the $100,000 year, whatever it was.
With the wheelbarrow. They brought all the cash in the wheelbarrow.
Right, I remember that. Hand
Red
you a
card
bunch
back.
of cash in Las Vegas. That's dangerous.
Right.
All right, so leading up to that, like, walk us through that whole event. Like, how did that go for you? Like, probably like somewhat normal contest, right?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm getting used to competitions. It's
Right.
been a while. It's always that, you train all year and you hope that it's your day.
Right. You hope you do good for those 2 minutes that you get to ride.
Yeah, 50-second ride. I'll be honest with you. I remember I didn't ride very well. And Bree decided to quit or retired within that year. So she started to compete during the year. And just speculation, but I think maybe she got scared that Jody and I were maybe coming for her. And she walked away.
Exit.
If she was there, she would have won. I actually didn't ride really well, but I think nobody rode really well. So out of everybody that didn't ride well, I was the
you were the better of the not riding well.
So it was not like it was a really weird feeling. It was like super cool to win, but I didn't feel good about my ride. Versus the year before, I had stemmed up 2 passes. I was extremely happy with my ride. Being second was my whatever. I was stoked about my ride. That year I was not stoked about my ride.
So on that, would you rather ride your best and not win an event, or just ride okay but win the event?
In general, I'd rather ride my best and not win. But to be clear, for Worlds, I'm happy I got at least 1 title.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
So that I would.
Well, I remember, like, I think it was like 13, 14, and 15. I remember sitting there at the awards, and I'm like, all right, like, whoever was around me, I'm like, this has to be Caro's year. Like, it's the only person I think that's ever rode an Inland Surfer or any other company, and I'm like, Caro's got to win this year. Like, it has to happen. So super cool, like in 15 when it happened, definitely.
That I remember. The weight, I remember. Because it's not like today where you see the results ahead of time.
I know.
You would know at the award ceremony. And I'm sitting there, Keenan's beside me, and I'm pretty sure I held his hand. probably a sweaty hand. And I, in third place, like, please don't name me, please don't name me. And then it did name me. And then in second, I was like, please don't name me. And then it named Jody.
Right. Yeah, Jody took second.
And the emotions, like hair raised on my arms, and I was just like already. Everybody turned. I could feel all the faces turning, like the people sitting around me turning towards me, like you got it finally, you know.
That's awesome.
And Keenan told me actually later on, he's like, I knew it was the hardest secret to keep.
Because he was probably judging, if I had to guess.
He was,
right?
or maybe he was helping
Scott
to tally some
scores
or something. So he knew, and he was kind of laughing because I'm like, please don't name me, please don't name me. And he's like, and I knew it was so hard not to tell you. That was the moment, like more than the writing, like when they named someone else for second.
Right.
Oh, that exact second. When they named my name was cool too, of course.
Right.
When you realize in your head that this is the thing you worked for.
You did it, yeah.
It's happening.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And it's funny because you talk about like nowadays, like kids get off the water and like they already know what their score was. Where like back in the day, it was you'd ride like an 8-man final at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and like you had no idea where you finished until they did awards.
It was like a multi-hours.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours later in the dark.
Yeah.
So, but it did cut down on protest, I think. Like you couldn't protest because nobody knew what to protest.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So since that, so you won 15, but like as far as competing goes, like you've stayed pretty active all the way
COVID
through like
19.
Like you're doing a lot of traveling and events, right?
Yeah, actually, during those years, it was a lot of. I would get hired to go coach in Dubai and coach in Russia, and I would go to events in Japan. They would actually get my flight so I could be there and coach a bit earlier before judging. I've judged. I was one of the few that would judge the pro men's cam all the time. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would study a lot before.
Yeah.
Like every event, I would ask questions to all the riders.
Yeah.
What do you think is harder between this, that, and other? But yeah, so during those years, there was a lot of travels. And that was super, super fun part of my career, I think, was to kind of explore the world.
Get to go so many places.
Yeah, so many places.
Yeah.
And what was the question? I forgot where we started from.
No, I was just talking about how active you stayed, like after you won.
So now I was like, my summers were pretty much like 6 months long at that point.
Right.
I was done my winter work, and like the next day I was flying somewhere. And
with a surfboard packed, ready to go.
No, yeah, I was ready to go, and I would make the best of it for sure.
Right. So, and I like to go back now a little bit to like the tricks, the points per trick, and like that was like a phase that we all went through, right? And it was almost like the more tricks you could pack in, the better chance you had to win. But you didn't have to have style. You didn't have to do them big.
Well, at first it was just the tricks, and then it became, what do you call it? You still had that trick list.
Right.
And then, like, if you landed switch, you would put a little
check mark, right?
And then,
right. If you thought it was good amplitude, you'd get like a little check.
Yeah, but like it had something about like, let's say a cab 5 versus a 5.
Right.
Because if you do a 5, you finish switch. So that worked like 3 more points.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Than starting switch. You know, and then at some point you had the blended thing where it was still the points, but you had like an overall composition of your run, which style was kind of included in it, but it was kind of.
It was just like a one little thing at the bottom, yeah.
And then eventually became the dive.
The dive system, right? Which is diversity, intensity, variation, execution. Yeah. But along that journey, like, so the CWSA in its early stages, which was really a good organization for wakesurfing, like they really built a lot of things up. And there was a time that you and I were the rider representation, you know, on it. And
Chris Bank.
And Chris Bank, that's right, yeah. I think he was like president at the time, maybe.
I think he became president after that.
After that? Okay.
Because Todd Flegel and Scott Culp were kind of at the head there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But I remember during that time, like, you kind of designed and like put together the whole like CWS point system for like the overall year.
Yeah.
Am I remembering that right?
I do, yeah. I can't take the whole credit. I worked with others on that, but yeah, I made research about snowboarding, how they do things, and So the 5-star event versus 3-star event, and who you're competing against matter, because getting first, if you're against, nobodies, or being first if you're against Drew Daniello and Keenan Flegel, that first means a lot more.
Have a little more weight
So
to it.
but the problem was that we didn't have anything to refer to, because we didn't have a system before.
Right.
So the starting point was difficult. Once you get some kind of scores for each rider, then it's a lot easier to build on.
Kind of falls in place.
The beginning was a bit tricky. So I went and did some research on different sports and try to see how they do things and adapt it to make it work so we have somewhere to start. That was a lot of work.
Yeah. And that was probably like 14, 15, 16, you think? Somewhere around there, like 2014, 15?
I want to say, because my first comp and my first Worlds, so 2011, I remember at one point it was that meeting. Again, my English not very good at the time, so I'm not sure what's happening, but it was some kind of meeting that I said, well, I'll just go check it out. And that was the first meeting before they created the
That was like the start of the CWSA.
Yeah, like Scott Culp was like, well, we should create some kind of group to make some regulations and whatnot. But it was not involved at the time. I was just trying to understand what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
And then eventually Scott reached out to me and he's like, so I was the first non-American, outside of the States, that would be representing the athletes. And I remember, after each event, I would talk to Scott and report, well, the athlete thinks this, and I was taking my role of athlete rep quite seriously, and bringing back. So that was our job. It's behind the scenes,
feedback
there's
of what
the
those guys were
judges
saying.
and this and that, but I was reporting, I was the voice of the athlete.
Right.
Well, and so were you and Chris Bank. But.
Yep. No, I remember. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So then in 2020, you're the first female to receive the CWSA Legend Award, right? Which is a pretty big honor. Mm-hmm. And that was in the COVID chaos.
Yes, it was.
Right. So I think I won it in 19.
I think 18.
Or 18 maybe. Okay. But it was obviously you could go to an event and it'd be like a whole thing. Like for you, how did it go down? Like how did you get it? Or find out about it, for that matter?
Well, that's the part. I wish I was there.
Right.
I wasn't there, so it was, I think Sean was announcing, and I was kind of watching Wells, but I was a bit upset not to be there.
Not to be there,
because
right.
I couldn't travel during those years, and I think someone texted me, congrats. I was like, congrats on what? And then there was a clip sent to me that in between two riders, and the Legend Award goes to
people that have done so much for the sport over a 10-plus year. That's right, it takes over 10 years to even be considered qualified and nominated for a Legend. Ooh. Nominated this year were Caro Villeneuve, James Walker, Chase Hazen, and this person that is going to win has done a lot for this industry with their own school, with their coaching, with competitive side, and unfortunately hasn't been able to make it to us because of border restrictions. This award, well deserved. That is for sure. I like to call her a very close friend. I'm sure she is watching right now. Miss Caro Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Caro. Welcome to Legend status, buddy. We can now say that together.
So that's two Canadians now that's got it, right? Because didn't Dom get it too one time?
That's right. Dom Lagasse is the other one.
Because Dom, I think, was the first one when they started the Legend Award.
Right, yeah.
Either Dom or you were the first, and then the second one was the other one. I can't remember who was first and second.
Yeah.
But it was a big thing. It was you're a legend. When I started, you were the legend.
Right.
You were already a multi-world champ.
Right.
So for me to get in, the same bracket, and Dom, I always looked up to Dom.
Always, absolutely.
So I was, wow, I'm in the same bracket as those legends? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
and maybe more so deserving than us. You did a lot. You did a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which is that's kind of where I find it cool that we were able to do it to you at the regatta, and a lot of people, especially nowadays, the newer face of wake surfing doesn't really know about.
No, because you were a legend. You started this whole thing. Nobody even knew what wake surfing was, and then Dom brought the switch.
Right. Right.
And it's wait, you can start and finish a trick on your hips?
Right, the wrong direction.
Because actually, it's a funny one. I was with the Hudson and one of the party bus going to a comp somewhere.
Right.
And then we're looking through whatever DVDs that they had at the time, and then we found one of Wakesurfing with Drew Daniello. So we put that on. It was the funniest thing. You're explaining the big spin,
Right.
and then it's like, and when you land, just spin around.
Just spin out, right? Exactly.
Like it was not even a thing to stay that way. And
No,
it's like,
right.
the part of the trick was to finish it by turning
Right, and get
around.
back to your regular stance.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, that was part of the Legend crew, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of Legends Crew, this is a funny memory that as I'm going through everything, like to talk with you, like Centurion Boats, we both rode for them for quite a while.
Yeah.
Las Vegas photo shoot, and it was right before Worlds. We had one of the towboats, I think for Worlds, that had like the poker chips wrap on it. And I remember we go out riding because they want to shoot photos, and Duncan is shooting the drone. They have the chase boat, the whole deal. And we get out and ride, and I kind of thought maybe it was like a goofy foot boat, but you're saying like you remember as being like just a boat with like no extra weight, no like no plug and play.
I don't think it was the cum boat because the cum boat had plug and play.
Was
and
all
other
set up,
things.
right? So it's just an extra boat they probably brought.
Yeah, probably the spare boat.
And I remember like the wave was not good. Like it was like we were like this big at best. And I'll never forget. I think what'd you say it was Sean.
Coming.
Just pull the plug, and
He
we
said
Canadian ballast.
"Oh, this wave sucks. Everybody's complaining that it's washy and it's small, and he's like, "We'll just do Canadian ballast." And I looked at him, I was like, "Wait, I'm Canadian. I don't even know what you're talking about." And he says, "Just put the plug. We'll just pull the plug.
Right, pulled the plug
The
out.
T-plug.
Let the boat fill up with water for however long, right?
And put water in the hull.
And Caro's riding down the lake with her finger in the bilge pump so it's not pumping out water.
Well, because Rickley was right beside. He's the owner at the time, and he's in the shooting boat that had the second,
right,
you know,
the big tower on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when let's say the rider would fall, we had to turn around. It was always bilging on the same side. It's like we can't let Rickley know that we're trying to sink this boat, pretty much. Like not sink it, but like we're making it heavier by filling the hull.
Right.
It's like, Caro, plug it. It's like, what? And then so I just put my finger in the thing, and then when we finished turning around, I would take it out. And so every time we're on the side that the photo shoot boat would see, I had my finger in the bilge.
So funny.
hole.
And I remember Duncan talking about how he could only shoot from one side of the boat because the other side was just a stream of water just constantly.
Yeah.
All right,
Canadian
so
ballast.
2017, you joined Phase 5.
Yes.
What's it like to be a part of the team, family, like this company as a whole? How's that been for you?
Amazing. And actually, because I reached out to Phase 5 in my very early days.
Right.
Nothing really happened. Then I got with Inland. And I think like a week after I got with Inland, you contacted me and said, "Hey, we would love you on the team." I was like, "Damn, you reached out to me like a week too late." Like,
Right,
now I already
right.
said yes. So I was not going back on that. So I
Right.
said thank you, but no. And I remember you were always like, every time I'd see you, it's like, how is Inland treating you? Very well. I was like, sweet, but as soon as they don't,
soon
or you're
as they
not
don't,
happy,
that's right.
come and see
That's
me.
right.
And I wanted for quite some time, but now I got my pro model. I'm pretty happy.
Right.
And at some point, I could see that they were going more towards a grass route, and I was like, well, I feel like it's the right time for me to exit. But I'm very loyal to my sponsor, so
Right.
I didn't want to leave in the wrong time either. So I remember contacting you, and you were pretty much saying like, well, finally.
Right.
So it's been awesome. And then right away we had a photo shoot, and Jody and Sean and John and
That's right.
were there, and Parker.
Tarzan's
I'm
boat,
trying to remember. Yeah,
think,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was like my first interaction with the Phase 5 team, and it was like, well, those are all my buds.
Right,
So
right.
that was
That's awesome. Like just jumping in and riding with everybody.
And actually, I
you
remember
want.
you asking me like, "What do you want? Your pro model?" And I was like, "Oh no, you have so many boards.
Right.
I'll find one
Right.
I like. I'll
Yeah.
be fine. I
Yeah.
don't need no.
That's awesome.
Been there, done that. I'm good."
Yeah. And now you're just putting people on them every summer in
Yeah.
the school, right? Like the boat's all Phase 5, and
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right, so now transferring away from summer a little bit, because we're gonna get to know Caro, because there's a part of Caro that nobody knows, I don't think, except for your close friends probably. But so you're born and raised in Canada. We've obviously talked about wake surfing, but after your 6 weeks of summer, you guys get snowed in, and then you become like mountain Caro.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. So tell us about the summer or the winter job, the snowmobiling, the dog sledding.
Oh gosh, dogs. I'm not in Alaska. Well, I'm from Quebec. Quebec is kind of the cold, like humid cold.
Right.
Not that much snow. A lot of fake snow that they do for the mountains.
Right.
So my dream was always to go in the Rocky Mountains and see those tall peaks and the big,
real
the
snow,
fluffy snow.
Yeah.
So I did 4 winters that I just traveled back and forth, and eventually moved in the East Kootenays. And it started with snowboarding. Then we would get a snowmobile. We just say sledding.
Right.
When I say sledding, you probably
Right.
think the dogs pulling the sled. It's not what I mean. So we would have a snowmobile just to go access more terrain. So we would just like zip up with it, park it, and then we hike, and then we get to the good stuff.
Right.
And eventually, and I would do maybe 100 days at the ski hill per year. I would go every day, and if I had to work that day, I would either go ski first and then work, or work a bit and then go ski. But I would do it every day. And then got into snowmobiling. I was like, well, this part to get up to there is actually quite fun.
Right.
So I started to play with the snowmobile a bit more. But in Quebec, snowmobiling would be like on a flat lake where it's, to me, it was like it's a mode of transportation. You
Right.
go from A to
Right.
B. It looks
Right.
kind of boring and
Yeah.
flat. And
Flat and straight.
so I never considered snowmobiling as a sport until I moved in the mountains, and I was like, it's exhausting because you get stuck, you have to shovel, you have to find a way to get out of there.
Right.
And we get a lot of snow, like not as much the last few years. I don't know if the planet warming up or just not a good last few years, but
Right.
the town I'm in, we get maybe used to have an average of 30 feet of snow a year. So to be clear, we don't have 30 feet of snow like showing because it does
Right.
settle in between
Right.
each snowfall, but that's the amount of snowfall we get.
Right.
And then higher up in the mountains, I mean, there's a lot of snow. So yeah, that's super fun. I get to snowmobile quite a bit. I don't even go to the ski hill anymore.
Right.
Too many people
Just
there.
go to your
I
own
just
place
go I call it my backyard.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't go very far.
That's awesome.
And then I drive the snowcat in the winter too.
Right. And is that a night job? Right? Like obviously
Yeah,
people are skiing at resorts and stuff during the day.
So many years ago, I was driving a snowcat for a snowcat cat skiing company.
Right.
There was a afternoon evening shift where
Okay.
I'm bringing people up and down to the lodge kind of
Right.
thing. Then in between, I did snow removal for a few years. I like driving machines, so I got to drive loader and skid steer and sand truck and stuff like that.
Right.
Then I did 2 years subcontractor for a coal mine. I'm a coal miner.
In the snow? Like in the winter?
I mean, I would do it in the spring and fall, through the
Okay.
winter a bit too. And I was driving they call it the wiggle wagon dump truck.
Right.
So it's an
Oh, yeah. The
articulated
articulating
dump
ones,
truck,
yeah.
like 40-ton truck.
Yeah. Yep.
So I did that for a bit, but I really missed the snowcat. So now I applied with the Fernie Snowmobile Association. So they make trails for the snowmobilers to access the backcountry terrain.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Basically. So
You just maintain
it's,
those trails.
Maybe 80 kilometers of road. Let's say
How many miles would that be?
50 miles
all right.
maybe. But we don't go very fast. So we just groom the trail so people can zip up there quick, and then they get off the trail to
And
go
then do
actually
whatever.
sledding
Yeah.
in the powder. And
That's
so that was my first year with them this year. And that was kind of an evening, like you start at 4 p.m., let's say, so you'll finish in little hours in the morning. But yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Contest or content? What would you rather do? Would you rather be like at a contest riding in it, or shooting like video and stuff with a good group?
Oh, well, it depends. Because if you say content like that, that sounds way more fun.
Right,
To ride
right.
just with my friends.
Right.
But if you tell me if between contests or me having to do social media video
Right.
thing,
No,
contest.
just no, shooting the content. Yeah.
Shooting?
Just being out there riding and
Yeah,
video.
riding for sure.
Definitely. Do you miss competing a lot, or are you at the point now where like you enjoy teaching?
I do miss it, but mostly because I miss my Wakesurf family.
Right. Yeah. What was the last event you went to?
Well, the thing is, when COVID started, we still did some events, but we're not allowed to go in the States. It was like those North American module.
Right.
So we would film and then send those videos down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those were the last contest
Like
I've
in
done.
person.
But in person would have been, I think 19.
And that was 19 was the Worlds at they did in Fort Lauderdale, right?
No.
What year
That
was-
was 17, I think.
Okay.
It must have been like Utah?
That's the one John won. That's right. Yeah.
18, 19. I think it was 2 years. John
Yeah,
won the 18,
and then
I
Sean
think.
won the following year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was 2 years in
Okay.
Utah, I think, back to back. So
Gotcha. Nice.
that would have been my last like in person, I think, Worlds.
I went after COVID. Yeah. I went out there when they just did it like a couple years ago. A year or two ago, 3 years ago, something like that. All right, if you're at the World Championships and the finals, do you want to be the first rider off the dock or the last rider off the dock? Last. How come?
I don't know if I have to give it all or play it
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, well, I don't have a very good ratio of landing district, but without it, I will not.
Right.
Then, yeah, I'll throw it in.
Right, if you have to
Like,
have it, then you go
but
for
if I'm
it.
first,
Right.
I mean, if I don't, yeah,
You don't know what to do.
I'll go last.
Right.
I like to go last.
All right. Summer or winter, and why?
I can't answer that. I like both season.
Right.
What I don't like is spring and fall.
Right.
Because there's nothing to do. It's
No
like,
snow,
well,
too
actually-
cold to be in the boat.
Actually, spring is not as bad because you can still, you'll get through dirt first, but you can make
you
it
can
to
still
snow.
get up. Right.
And it's cold, but I can make it to, wake surfing somewhat. I could probably do both within a week.
Right.
But the fall is horrible.
Yeah.
Like the water gets cold, but it takes so long before you have enough snow to cover
do
the
anything.
hazards to
Right.
be able to go out there.
Gotcha.
So hard to tell, but yeah, I think summer a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on like where wake surfing is right now, as a whole, like the whole competitive scene?
Oh, that's a tough question too. You have tough questions, Drew.
I know. This is where it gets good. And you don't have to sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
You can be
well,
honest.
I like that back then it was one Worlds.
Yeah.
Everybody
Right.
was fighting for that title.
Right.
Now there's a world here and there's a world with the CWSA and
Right.
one with the WWA and then
kind of
there's
like
the,
taking some of the
other one
value
that was
away.
in Hong Kong last year. So there's so many world champ now.
Right.
It's like every year there's like 17 new world champions. Back then it was
Right.
limited.
Right. Yeah.
So that is one thing I don't love about today. And I think as a young athlete it would be difficult. Like where do you go? You have
Right.
so many options. Before it's like, well, your goal is to make it to World, so you'll do, that many events and try
Right.
to qualify to get to World.
Right. We're back when it was the who's who was all show up at the same place.
Well, and before we had the world ranking system,
right.
if you won any of the events, you had a free invite.
You were
for
invite.
Worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Simple
Yeah,
as
the
that.
invite thing is tough too for me. Like there was a year, I think the year John won, and then the following year, like he didn't do enough qualifying events and they didn't invite him back. Like to me that one's a little hard.
For me, I feel like the reigning champion should have it.
Right.
an
Like I
invite
think
for
to date,
sure.
like if you wanted to go ride at Worlds, like you've won a World Championships, like Masters in golf, like you automatically are allowed to go whenever you want.
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be.
I think too, but I don't think it works like that.
No, it doesn't. But maybe if we both just showed up, they would let us.
And I think, even from because I haven't been competing, in the world tour in the last, 6 years, but
Right.
even between the first years and the last years I was competing, the first years were way more fun.
Right.
It was way more fun. It was no protesting, and it was like, we're very little. Someone
Right,
might mention,
right.
like, oh, what's up with that? And the judge would be like, well, because of this, like, oh, okay, makes sense, thank you.
Right,
And that was it.
right.
Like it was not.
And then everybody was off to hang out together and have fun.
It was different for sure. I feel
Right.
like now people take it almost a little too seriously.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I felt like in our prime, it was serious, but like we were still having fun. Like now I think you have kids at a much younger age than we were, because like 2003 was my first one. I was 23 years old already.
Wow, 2003.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
Where was that? 2003.
Merced.
Oh, okay.
In Merced, Lake Yosemite is cold
so
in the
which one
summer.
was 2007?
That was
Nashville?
they did Merced a couple times.
Oh, okay.
2008 was Nashville,
Oh, okay.
and then 2009 didn't, or 2009 might
10
have been Nashville.
10 didn't
10
happen.
didn't have it, so 9 was Nashville.
Yeah, because I missed 9.
Yeah,
Was supposed to go actually, and I missed it.
right.
And then I was so ready for 10, and then they didn't do it. It's like,
Yep.
had to wait 11.
Yeah. And then, but there's so many younger people who are kind of like really into it, which is good. But then there's like part of me that like sometimes I see it and I'm like, okay, like we're just wake surfing. You know, like the fun's almost being pulled away from it here. So that's interesting that you say that too. Advice to up and coming riders.
Yeah,
It's a good time for that after
yeah,
that topic.
don't take it too seriously. Have fun doing it. Cheer for the people you're competing with. I like to say with, not against.
Right.
You're competing with them, and give a good example. I think for me, my students, the way they handle themselves in the win and in the defeat, worth more than any podium.
Absolutely.
And when I say in the win or the defeat, the win, you know, like you win and you could be a little cocky about it, and it's not great for those below you.
No, not at all.
And if you are upset about your run or just, you know, not happy or whatever it is, you gotta be able to keep it for later, and then get frustrated later, kind of thing. But you have to be happy for your coworker and your co-rider, and take the best of it, learn from it, and that will serve you your whole life. Because in your life, you will succeed and you will
fail.
You will lose. You will,
Definitely.
You might want a job that you might not be able to get, and you'll have to know how to deal with not always winning.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And really, like when you don't win, like to me, it's always like, okay, like you didn't win, so now how do you react? Like, is that it? Are you done, or are you going to work harder to come back and win?
For me, it was difficult too. Like I say, I'm teaching my students that because for me it was difficult. I wouldn't get pissed. I'd get upset. Like I would get emotional. And then let's say at nationals at Callaway Garden, and didn't do really well, and I come out and I'm trying to blink, you know,
right?
Not show
that you're frustrated.
Emotions coming out, and then I would get like a mic in my face. How was your run? And it's like. You have to swallow because it's that little throat. And,
absolutely.
So I had to learn to. It was fun.
It is a happy face.
Yep.
And that's like I think 2012 was the one year I didn't make the finals at Worlds, and I remember going underwater and letting it all out.
Oh yeah. Nobody sees underwater.
And then I got it's a perfect spot to do it.
Yeah.
And then I got to the dock and like Ty was there and he was like 3 years old or something, and I was like, all right, like. But then like 2013 was like I went on a mission, like gym, riding, and like came back and won my last one. And then, but
because you had 6, right?
7.
Sorry.
And that was the first year they did Vegas.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the first $100,000 year. That was the one they did the vodka bottles or whatever they were that were engraved.
Oh yeah.
And that was my whole deal. Like I wanted to win 7 and 13 because it was in Vegas. So like the 7th, which is cool. What are your plans for 2026?
I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. Pretty happy where I'm at now. I'm gonna keep coaching. I would really like to get a newer boat. We'll see how that goes.
Boat companies.
It still runs. It's great, but it would be nice to press button to switch sides.
Right.
I still don't have that. The wave is still great though. I'm happy with that.
What do you got? Like it's probably what, like a Enzo, 23 Enzo?
24.
24, yeah.
44.
It's a good wave.
It's a good
for
wave.
Sure.
It is a good. It's the same kind of boat that we had to pull the plug out.
Right. With everything, with all the extra stuff.
I have the extra stuff in it, so that's that part's good. But yeah, I want to keep coaching. I would love to actually travel more like I used to for coaching. I miss that. It's fun to go at someone else's lake and someone else, like they host me for the week, and we go on their boat on their schedule. I'm just their private coach, and I miss doing that a bit more. But it would be nice to do a bit more. But if not, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, coaching, living the life at the lake. So basically, I leave my house in the summer and I go on Lake Pukanusa and have my little camper there, and I just spend the summer there.
That's where you're at.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We have long days. So we'll be, the sunrise at, 4:45 in the morning.
Geez.
And, well, not quite rise, but,
it starts to get daylight.
Bright a little bit. And then the sun set maybe at 9:10, but it'll still be bright till 11 sometimes. So it's pretty long days.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. What is the summer temperatures like up there?
Surprisingly warm.
Yeah.
Like hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can easily reach the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Humid or not really?
No, it's
no
dry.
humidity. Yeah.
On the west side of Canada is dry. On the
Right.
east side is humid.
It's humid
kinda
like here.
Kind of like this.
Yeah,
here
like right now. Yeah,
It's getting
exactly.
a little warm in here.
Uh,
You'll see a reflection on my face.
yeah,
probably.
right. Sponsors and people who have made this all possible for you. If you want to thank them or give a shout out.
Well,
like-
I mean, Dom was definitely the first one to kind of get me, to get me in the sport, really. And
Right.
so super, super grateful for them. Thank you, Dom.
Yeah.
Everybody on my path, there's so many people.
Right.
You know, guys that paved it for us before, like you, and guys like Sean Cummings that showed me my first shove it, and
Right.
even that welcomed me in his house, even if I was 15 years older than him.
Right.
We became great friends. He was 17. I was, 30.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And well, sponsors Phase 5, of course. Century and Absolute Watersports been the best boat dealer I've had. Jeff Bezek has been because the boats don't break on a Wednesday afternoon,
No,
right? They always
no,
break
Saturday.
on the Friday night.
Right,
Or,
yes, yeah.
And Jeff would answer his phone and guide me through whatever I needed to guide through.
Right, right,
And
yeah.
make it work. I got Surfinity. It's a Canadian company that got like all the warm things for your boat, like the heated blanket
Nice.
and all the bags for wetsuits, life jacket. Actually,
Right.
so I have at the lake. I have my cube trailer, and people meet me there. We do the waivers. We pick what board, life jackets, wetsuits. I got a pretty good collections now.
Yeah.
The wetsuits are nice, especially the short, just the
Right.
top kind of
Top
thing.
long
So
lot,
it's
yeah.
pretty quick. But I take one of those big bags and say, okay, anything you want, we'll put in the bag, and I'll put like
throw
so
it in
much
there.
stuff in.
Yeah.
It's one bag to carry. We bring the boards and go down.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Nice.
pretty lucky. And then the last one, BB Talking. It's a company in the States actually. Sean Murray used them quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's the ball cap with the radio.
Right,
and I'm
so you
sitting
can
on the
talk
driver's
to
seat
your
and I
riders.
can talk to.
And they can talk back, like you can hear
You
each
can
other,
talk
right?
back. It's
yeah.
waterproof. I don't use it all the time, but it's very nice for beginners. Actually, not just beginners, people that wants to learn, more technical tricks.
Right.
I'll be like, okay, move your foot this way instead of cymbals.
Right,
I
using
can-
your hand.
I can use my voice. It's
Yeah.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. For everybody watching this, if somebody's interested in H20 School or contacting you about coaching,
Mm-hmm.
what's the best way to do that?
I got a website, www.h20schoolbc.com, and it's an O, not a zero, H2O. Or on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the website.
This is where we're going to flash your phone number on YouTube. No.
278 surf. But see, it's funny because my phone actually picked those numbers to make the word surf.
Right?
But when you say that to young kids these days, they don't even know what you're talking about.
No, they don't.
Because, on
No.
the phone you had the little letters.
Yeah,
on it.
there's no,
Yeah.
to get to S, you don't have to hit 7 4 times.
No.
Awesome. Anything else you got to say? Want to say?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You
Yeah.
guys. Phase 5 has been amazing. I just can't thank you enough. And this weekend was super, super fun. Was happy to be here. And receiving the legend award again from you guys was awesome as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, it was fun.
And my
like-
parents. My parents are awesome. For
Yeah.
you guys who haven't met my parents, they're very cute and they supported me my whole life.
I was going to say, from early on, I remember, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Anytime they
awesome.
get a chance to come and see me, they'll do it.
Right.
So they just haven't got the chance to be there for most of my, big travels
Right.
in my career or, winning the world championship. They weren't there. So they were actually, when we came back from the regatta, they told me that they were extremely happy that they were there to witness,
That
one
part.
of my accomplishments because
That's
they haven't
cool.
been able to be there. For,
Did they have fun at the regatta?
Oh, yeah. They
The
loved it.
regatta is not even like just for riders. It's like kind of
No,
for like the whole
and
family.
at some point I know
yeah.
they just sat on the dock on that little swing chair
Yep,
thing, and I
yep.
was like, "Oh, sorry, Mom, we should have brought you on the boat." She's like, "Oh, we loved it there."
Yeah, yeah. That's
Just
awesome.
looking at the
Just
lake.
peaceful.
And, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it was fun to sit down and talk with you and take a trip down memory lane for us older folks.
Yeah, lots of good memories. There's
Yeah.
just so many
Yep.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I do want to say something. I'm quite impressed with the girls, the pro now. Actually, I'll tell you guys all a secret. I was gonna say I'll tell you a secret, but it's not a secret if it's filmed. So,
Right.
For a long time, I was like, oh, those girls are coming for me. Like Whitley and Ashley
Ashley
and Laws.
and yeah.
I was like, well, next year they're gonna kick my butt. And then I would get to the next year, like, you haven't caught up yet.
Yeah.
But next year.
Right.
And then I kept saying that, and it just didn't happen, like for 4 years.
Right.
And then COVID happened. And the following year, so 20, I think was my last Worlds. I don't know. You know more than me about me, so it's probably in your sheet somewhere.
I think it was
Whichever year it was.
19, I think.
So I actually didn't really want to go to Worlds that year. I was like, well, I know that I can't travel south. So my 6-month summer is now 2 months.
Right.
And then they stopped going to school and they train every day.
That's all
so
they do
it's
is surf.
It's like a total opposite. They
Right.
went exponentially. So
Right.
1 year they all came up at
Right.
once. And it was like, well, I got zero chance at Worlds. I'm not even like barely training because I'm coaching during my 2 months of summer. I don't have time to train. I train before and after, but now I can't travel.
During the day you are,
And I told myself, I was like, you know what? I know they've been trying to reach for me and Jody for a while, and they deserve to be able to beat me. You know, like they work hard
That's
enough.
a good way to look at it.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I will go let them beat me. When I say let them beat me, I don't say like, oh,
Right,
you know,
right.
I'm still trying my best. I
Right.
just
I'm still
know
going
they
to try
will.
to beat you, but I'm here if you want to beat
Yeah,
me.
and it's actually Sarah Talon, and
Yeah,
it was like
right.
quite a, even in Canada,
There's a
too,
whole
Bailey
flux of-
Rush, you know,
yeah,
there's a bunch of girls
absolutely.
coming up, and I really hated that Brie left before I could beat her at Worlds, and I was like, I will not do that to those girls. So, and now I'm watching them, and I'm like, holy moly, like
It's insane.
like
Yeah.
what we needed to win Worlds 10 years ago and what it is today, like
You couldn't win an amateur division with
yeah,
it.
pretty
like,
much,
not-
pretty much
right,
what it was.
Right.
And actually,
So-
I have a pretty good story with Whitley. I think it was Parker, Arizona, but it was not a world event. I think it was Parker, wherever
Yeah,
it was, somewhere in
out there.
Arizona.
Yeah.
And I forgot my life jacket, and I'm newly on the Phase 5 team. So I was like, well, I need a Phase 5 life jacket to go
Right.
competing. And I didn't forget it like at home. It was like at the hotel.
Right.
So I'm looking around, like, anybody, can I borrow a life jacket? And someone's like, oh, Caro, use mine. It's like, oh, it's not a Phase 5. Like,
Right.
oh, I need a different one. And then Whitley's like, take mine. And she pretty much like runs to give it to me. It's like, oh, thank you. And then I try, it's like, oh, yeah, it fits perfect. Thank you.
Right.
And now we're chatting and then meeting the dad. And he's telling me, he's like, Whitley's been watching your videos and she's screen recording them. I was like, what's that? I didn't even know what screen recording was. And she showed me. So she's like, yeah, I recorded so I can like go slow and see how you do this. And because just to give a bit of an idea of the skill level, right? Like I was the first female to learn to switch big.
Right.
Because
Right.
even Brie couldn't do them.
Right.
She was doing the big spin.
Yeah.
So now you see the caliber where you guys are at today. It's just like
540 big
different worlds.
spins. And,
But yeah,
yeah.
so it was very flattering for me to hear that there's this
Yeah.
young lady in Outlaw Division. She was already great, like
Right,
great rider.
yes.
I was still better than her for that year, maybe.
Yeah.
And then so she let me borrow the life jacket. And now I'm sitting at a table chatting with the parents and other people. Never really met them before. And then she comes back. She's like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go ride with whoever
Right.
on their boat. I was like, oh, well, you're going to need a life jacket.
Right.
And I handed it to her, and she's like, no. And she pushed it back at me. She's like, I want Caro to ride my life jacket. Like, it was an
awesome.
honor for her
Yeah,
to
that's cool.
ride with my, for
Right.
me to ride with her life jacket.
Yeah.
And then last year, you guys had the Whitley life jacket and
Right.
the Stacia, and I made a point to grab the Whitley one.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
I posted it, and I was like, Whitley, see?
That's
Things
right.
switched
That's
around.
right.
Now I'm
It all
riding your
comes- yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was riding her thing at the time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool story.
I thought
It's fun to kind of see it all go.
Yeah.
And like the younger kids when you were riding and where they're at now. So
Yeah, well, like Jet. I haven't seen Jet. The last time I saw him, he was this tall.
he's a monster.
And then he was like the tallest one there, I think.
Did you get to watch him ride?
No, I was on the same boat. I didn't see him ride live. But and then Sammy G. Oh, that was funny. We got there and I see Jolene. So hey, Jolene, and I didn't quite notice him. He was kind of just there.
Right.
And then I just glanced and I see like.
Because he
he's
used to be like this.
No, he's like this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I didn't quite recognize him, but I was
Like who? What?
Sammy?
Yeah.
And then he's like, Caro.
Yeah.
Then he hugs me. Then he kind of pushed me away. He's like, Caro. And then he hugs me again.
That's
It's like, oh my
awesome.
God. It's like, I can't believe
When was the
you're
last
here.
time you saw him, you think?
So we talked about it. It was like, damn, last time I saw you, you were like, I mean, you're still little, but you were littler. And He's like, yeah, last time I saw you, he's like, I think I was like 12.
That's awesome.
And I was like, well, how old are you now? I was like 20. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he told me I was apparently the first one to give him a lesson. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Don't even remember.
No, don't remember that.
See, your influence is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, well, it's. I always said, like, let's say for me, Dom is like the tree.
Right.
You know,
That's
he's
where
the
it
trunk.
started. Yeah.
I'm a branch
Right.
off of that tree. You
Yeah.
know, but now mine's got a lot of branches, and each branch
Right.
got more branches. So it's just exponential.
Just getting
like,
bigger and bigger.
Anything that come, and I always tell people, it comes from, my inspiration came from Dom.
Right.
And I do that lip slide grab all the time. And everybody's like, oh, it's Caro's signature trick. It's like, well, actually.
Dom's.
Thanks, Dom.
Yeah, exactly.
I took it from him.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, thank you for talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for watching, and keep an eye out on the YouTube channel. We'll have more coming. And that's it for episode 4 with Caro.